Greetings. My name is Lauren, and I enjoy friendships all over the world. I bring to you my friend Dr. Jabor to read to you passages from his book Unshackled and Growing. In addition, a PDF version of the book in English is available to you for free on the website friendshippathways.com. I present to you the episode Commitment to Christ.
Commitment to Christ as Lord. According to the Old Testament law, the Sharia, a Hebrew master should set his Hebrew slave free after 6 years. He was not only to release him, but to give generously to him so that he could make a good start on his own. I would assume that every slave, when the opportunity came, wanted his freedom. Yet in the Old Testament, we see the slave at a crossroads, facing two choices. One choice was to take his freedom and leave. The other is recorded in Deuteronomy chapter 15, verses 16 and 17. But if your servant says to you, I do not want to leave you, because he loves you and your family and is well off with you, then take an awl and push it through his earlobe into the door, and he will become your servant for life. Each of us in our journey with Christ faces a similar decision. We have the freedom to walk away from our loving Master and go back to living for ourselves. Or we can choose to have the lobe of our ear pierced and stay under his care, growing in him and living the life he created us to live. The illustration is one of slavery, but in reality, committing ourselves to this Master is choosing a life of true freedom. Christ does not call us slaves, but friends. Are you willing to go to Jesus and ask him to pierce the lobe of your ear? Are you willing to dedicate or rededicate your whole life to Christ? This commitment involves your relationships, your time, your priorities, your family, and all that you own. It could involve suffering, persecution, imprisonment, or even martyrdom. Jesus told this parable, recorded in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 13, verses 45 and 46. The kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. In this parable, Jesus is the pearl of great value. Let's say that I decided to come to God the Father and ask him, what's the cost of that pearl? God answers, all you have. How much is that? I would respond, well, I have some money in the bank and I have some investments in stocks and bonds. What else? God the Father asks. Then I would list all my assets, including my car. What else? He asks again. I can only say all that is left is myself, my wife, and my children. Then he says, go and put everything you own into a contract. I give him everything, every last bit of myself. And then I begin to walk away. But God calls out to me and says, here is your family. Take good care of them, because your wife is my daughter and your children are my children. Furthermore, I'm entrusting you with my car, my money, my stocks and bonds, and everything else you put in that contract. You are no longer the owner, but you are the steward of what belongs to me. Being transformed from an owner to a steward means having a completely new identity. The cost to follow Jesus is enormous. It requires everything in your life, every asset and every relationship. Are you willing to surrender them all to Jesus? Will you write a prayer to Jesus telling him why you want to become his slave by choice, or a steward rather than an owner, forever?